Afternoon and good evening wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the Transnation eSports. We are here for the Monday night US Regional Series as we head to Monaco. Sebi and I have raced in the Sunday Series. Sebi, don't forget to spectate. But I am, of course, joined tonight in the comm box by the one and only Seb. How is it going tonight, or I guess early this evening, sir?
It's going great, dude. It's nice to be able to be the one spectating Monaco and doing comps for Monaco instead of being stuck on the track in Monaco.
Yeah, true. No kidding. We, of course, raced here last night, and interesting race as Monaco usually is. Plenty of, I guess, plenty of interaction with the wall is one way to describe it, and it's made a little bit worse when you do have a wet qualifying session as we did. But yeah, hopefully for the sake of all these drivers here tonight, we'll get dry racing throughout the weekend. Otherwise, it could lead to some serious mayhem.
Oh, it definitely could. I mean, me and you actually ended up having a wet quali yesterday and a dry race, which definitely threw in a mix of different strategies during that quali.
Yeah, it did lead to interesting strategies, led to an interesting race. How'd you end up doing last night, Seb? You made
Uh,
it through the mayhem, right?
I did. So quali wasn't too bad. I was starting to get used to the way. I didn't notice at the end though that I probably could have made it out with the soft run, but quali wasn't too bad. And then the race itself. I probably bankrupt my team due to wing changes last night.
Yeah, there was some serious money that was just tossed around that track. A number of years ago, there was a massive, like, $100,000 diamond that was lost in the streets of Monaco during this race. Some idiot had the idea to strap it onto the front of a car as like a movie stunt or like a movie like promotion type thing, and they lost one of the diamonds, not surprisingly. So I'm sure there was plenty more money lost in front wings are not cheap, and there was a lot of them lost last night. That is for sure. But it does look like we are going to have at least a dry qualifying session here this evening, as the weather looks quite nice out on track, at least for the time being. Blue skies, a little bit nicer than our qualifying session that we had last night. So 17 drivers on the grid as well. That's quite nice to see. And as we have a very good turnout here tonight for Monaco, which is kind of surprising. Nobody decided to chicken out.
I know it's definitely nice to almost see a full grade, at Monaco, but it definitely does raise the stakes a little bit, especially with accidents. Which luckily last night, I was very surprised that we ended up with only one virtual safety car and not a full blown one and not more than one.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that is the first online race in Monaco that I've run that didn't have a full-fledged safety car, and that is even including uh, before some of the patches that they put in to actually increase the frequency of safety cars. So a little bit surprised at that, but it also goes to show it was pretty good. I mean, there's still lots of mess ups on track, but wasn't completely wild. I guess before we really get into things here, I'm going to briefly run down the championship standings. Definitely some exciting battles that are going to be going on here and building up to go on throughout the rest of the season, especially between our top two drivers, Michael Garone Jr. and Joseph Oak. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce your last name, Joseph. But between Top Gun and Bucks, as they are separated by 1 point at the top of the championship standings, 112 points to 111 points, with Michael Garone Jr. in first place. In third place, Michael Schooner, the Iceman, with 72 points. Daniel Hernandez in fourth with 61 points. Jonathan Duncan in fifth with 51. Zach Hockmeyer has 45 points in 6th. Vince Batterby in 7th with 30 points. Trevor Pound in 8th with 22. Alex Gutierrez, after a great week last week and a podium finish in Spain, is in 9th place with 21 points. Julian Monegro rounds out the top 10 with 17 points. Nicholas Salvanik, who no longer races in this Monday night, he's now a Sunday night driver, I believe. He still has 13 points. Rolly Shield has 12. Wesley Sandridge with 9. Peter Pan with 8. Aaron Bolin with 6. Bill Vosti, who got his first points last week in the Renault, with 2. And David Aponte is the final point scoring competitor with 1 point. On the constructors side, we see McLaren with a commanding lead as Random Sirius goes to the top of the board. That is Rolly Shield with a 112.3. So McLaren has 173 points. Alpha Tauri has 133. Red Bull with 123. Racing Point with 66. Williams with 30. Alfa Romeo with 18. Haas and Mercedes are tied with 17. Ferrari has 13. And Renault, after scoring their first points last week, have 3. Michael Garone Jr. coming around the final corner and crosses the start-finish line, goes to the top with a 110.5. Zach Hockmeyer with a 110.8, Jonathan Dunk a 111.3, Daniel Hernandez a 111.6. Now, Seb, are any of these early times surprising you here? Do you think that we're going to have drivers start popping up into the 109s? Or do we think the low 110s is as good as we're going to get?
I'm most definitely sure we will definitely see times come down into the 109s. I mean, this Monday division is filled with...
Bucks almost lost it.
It's filled with a lot of great drivers, fast drivers that are good in quality and also great with race pace, So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it go into the 109s. What do you think? What do you think a driver has to do to be able to win this iconic race, Stu?
Well, I mean, the clear way to win this race is just run clean. That's going to be that's the only way you're going to win it, is if you run the race clean. That's the only way you'll have a shot to really win it. But you also have to have some pace and take calculated risks. So track position and this qualifying session is huge for that. This qualifying session will dictate likely who is going to be able to contend for the win of this race. And if you're on pole and you have that good track position, it's going to give you such a big leg up, as we're going to see Trevor Pound. Actually, he is just starting a lap. But yeah, I think track position and just running a clear race are your keys to victory here for today.
Do you think a win is possible from outside of pole?
Oh, I do think so. Whoa! My goodness, there's a Mercedes that was in the wall, and Trevor Pound came so close to pounding that Mercedes. That was hairy. But he's off and he's fine. He's still on his lap. I do think it is possible to win from outside pole for sure. But it does certainly make it a lot harder if you're relying on a mistake in front of you at that point, essentially. Because it's not really possible to make a pass here that doesn't risk your race or somebody around yours race, which we all know drivers don't always care about that, but I think, yeah, it's definitely one that drivers want to win, as Mr. Brett was speaking on in the YouTube comments. It's a Triple Crown race, and this is a big one to win. So it's a hard one to win, and drivers are going to be going for it here this evening. We're going to see Michael come out on another flying lap. Interestingly enough, none of these drivers have really opted to go out on the mediums. I think that kind of speaks to, except for Vince Batterby, but it does kind of speak to again, how important track position is here. The mediums are actually a really nice race tire, and they're not that much slower pace-wise from the softs, but you need any pace that you can get around here.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think it is easier. I mean, at least last night I found it was easier for me to run on softs with the damaged wing than it was on the mediums for sure.
Yeah, I think, uh, man, I mean, the softs are you're gonna get like 10 laps out of them in optimal, unless if you're Andrew Honda, who took those things like what 17 or 18 laps last night, which
Yeah,
is insane. But um, yeah, we're gonna see everybody, all these drivers qualify on the soft tires here. Interestingly enough, that just seeing Whiz Bang has that is of course Aaron Boland. He is on his fourth lap on the softs. I'm not really sure what has triggered that, but regardless, he is doing a number of laps on that soft compound tire, and just riding along right now with the current pole sitter. That is Michael Garone Jr. as he makes his way down. Oh, he missed the bus stop. Just maybe outbroke himself a little bit there. Somehow he didn't invalidate that lap, but I mean he did come to almost a complete stop. So
hmm.
I wonder what kind of went on there. It did look like there was a Mercedes that was blocking the track. Oh, and Michael is bringing it into the pits. So what else can we ride along? Bucks is out there, so he is sure to improve on his lap time. His previous best 1:11.795. He is going to be happy to look at that. And yeah, Brett has actually made a good point. So one of the big pieces of news that got released earlier today for us in the Americas is the large update that happened to F1 2020. And you can now see on board the McLaren, I don't really know if I think it looks that good, but the We Race as One rainbow is on the halo of that McLaren. So they have incorporated, I believe, all of the livery updates that cars have seen so far this season, and they are now visible on the cars as Bucks crosses the line and he jumps to P3, a 1:10.895. Not a bad lap at all for Joseph Bucks. That does put him P3 though, interestingly enough, and he is about 13 one-thousandths behind Zach in the Racing Point. Let's see, who else do we have here? We do have Zach actually on a flying lap as well, but he has invalidated, unfortunately.
Dunk up to P2 with the 1:10.7.
Ah, yes, Jonathan Dunk up to P2. So I wonder where his teammate is here. His teammate's on a flying lap. Now, I don't know all of the corner names around this track. That's not something I'm gonna just learn on the fly here. But regardless, the Iceman Michael Schoonert is making his way through Sector 3 and towards the start-finish line. We'll see what he is going to do as he crosses the line, and he is going to jump up to P3 with a 1:10.7. So nice effort there for Michael and the Iceman, and wow, these guys are very tight at the top here. The top five separated by less than 0.3 of a second. So yeah, we could be in for a very nose-to-tail race here up at the front.
Definitely does look like it's going to be very interesting up there.
And one of the things too about this track is, as much as you don't usually see penalties be a big factor necessarily in tracks, the more street circuit style ones, because they tend to have very defined track limits like a wall. So I think that penalties seem to weigh very heavily, like they can heavily affect drivers here, and even if you pick up one or two of them over the course of the race, well, if you pick up two of them, you could be in trouble. But even if you pick up just one penalty here, it could really, really hurt you. As Michael makes his way around the track right now, he is a 10th up on his previous best. As he makes his way through Sector 3, he got a bit of the wall and he yoinks her into the pits. So, not to his liking that lap was, so he's going to have another scuffed set of softs. Going to take a look at Rolly Shields now as he makes his way around the track. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up an old Monaco track map here and see what I can do with that. You know, please the masses, right? That's what I'm here to do. I'm just here to please folks.
Monaco is definitely a tricky track to be able to link up a lap, especially with the way that it's laid out and traffic.
Yeah, it is. Yes, you mentioned traffic. That's actually an excellent point. There's so much. It's a relatively small track, and when you have 17 drivers, now 16 drivers out on track, as Daniel gets into the wall, and I think he lost an end plate there. Yep, he left some behind. If you run into even the slightest bit of traffic, even if they're doing their best to get out of the way, it can seriously compromise your lap. But who do we have? We have a little bit over 3.5 minutes on our clock here, so that's probably going to be, we have over 4 minutes left in the qualifying session here. Anything that you've seen so far, Seb, that's caught your mind, or is this playing out just about how you can, just about how you'd imagine?
I feel like it's playing out just about as I was imagining. You know, you got the regular top 5 guys that are sitting up there right now, and I feel like they're just all trying to better a time because, you know, of course, how we discussed earlier, track position is going to be a very big key to winning this GP, you know, and especially with strategy also, with which one of them are going to be running 1 stops or 2 stops.
Oh my! Wait! Sorry, Seb. That's a big development here. Is the Iceman Michael Schooner just picked up a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with one of the newer drivers here. So they both have wing damage. I wonder what happened between those drivers. But the Iceman Michael Schooner, that's a massive hit for him. That, you don't want to be taking grid penalties, especially around here.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
So certainly unfortunate for him, but we'll see. Maybe some more information will come to light about that post-race. But that was, of course, David Aponte in the Renault that was also tangled up in that. David seemed to get away without penalty, but I mean, it's enough of a penalty for him because it's going to be pretty tight for him to get out and have another lap, but should have the time to do it. Michael Garone Jr. is on another hot lap here. We'll see what he can do. He has his final fresh set of softs, I believe, as he makes his way through Sector 2 currently into Quebec. He is almost 3/10 up on his time. Whoa, sliding the car around. He is Givner, as they say. He's going to make his way out of the final corners, down the front straightaway, and Michael Garone Jr. crosses the finish line and improves a 110.125. As Zach Dillagaff, a 109.5. Oh my goodness. That is an absolutely sizzling lap. That's what I was expecting to see around here today at Monaco. As following along right now with Jonathan Dunk, he is 2/10 off of, or he has a full 10th off of his previous best time. I don't think this is a hot lap. It is not. Joseph Bucks, though, is on a hot lap, though, and what can he do? He makes his way through the Nouvelle Chicane and into Quebec. down through the swimming pool. I guess around the swimming pool. Don't want him to
I
go through the
believe he
swimming
was
pool.
almost 4 tenths up, so
This could be something. He loses a little bit of traction out of the final corner. That's going to hurt his run down the straightaway. He's going to cross the line and go third fastest, a 110.4. The Iceman is on an outlap. He is going to get that in before the clock starts, so this is his chance. Currently, he'd be slated to start P10 right now, so that's not where he wants to end up. He's going to start his lap. Looking at Alex Gutierrez, he's 3/10 up on his previous best lap. What can he do? Down the long, or the tunnel straight, I guess if you could call it that, into the Nouvelle Chicane. Alex Gutierrez, of course, coming through to show some serious pace again last week. What can he do here today around Monaco? Into the final corners. And down the front stretch. What is Alex going to be able to do? He's going to cross the line and go second fastest, a 110.1. Oh my goodness,
wow.
7/1000ths ahead of Michael Garone Jr. Alex Gutierrez has found his pace on the wheel, ladies and gentlemen, and that is a terrifying prospect for these Monday night drivers. The Iceman crosses the line. Michael crosses the line, and he goes 110.284. He goes fourth fastest. He will, of course, has a 5-place grid penalty still to serve. The only driver yet to cross the line was Papa Samic, that's Wesley, and he does not improve on his time. So that is going to wrap up your qualifying here today for Monaco. And let me tell you, Seb, Racing Point is looking good. They look like they got the same aerodynamic upgrade that Stroll got last weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the Racing Point drivers are definitely finding that pace and definitely putting it down on the track lately.
Yeah, the season is still very young. They have plenty of time to get themselves back into the constructors' championship hunt here, as Zach also is one to potentially try and claw his way back into the Monday night standings here. So, of course, he's currently 6th in the championship. But wow, what an end to that qualifying session as we saw so many good times we put up. It kind of surprises me a little bit that only one driver was able to pop into the 109s.
A little bit, yeah. I did kind of expect a little bit more of the 109s, but I mean, they're all still very close.
Yeah, they are. I mean, of course, that being said, our top our top 5, well, actually, once you factor out Zach, who is 6/10 of a second ahead of everybody, the remaining 6 drivers after that are separated by a further 6/10. So 6/10 to separate 6 drivers is quite tight indeed, and it should mean that we're in for hopefully some good racing here this afternoon.
Oh yeah, it's gonna come down to strategy and mistakes.
As it often does, especially around Monaco. If you can limit those mistakes, then you're gonna have a good chance to pick up a victory here this evening. Only one driver did not get to set a time. That's Julian Monegro. That's seriously going to hurt his prospects at the beginning of this race, as he will end up qualifying P17. Also of note, the Iceman, Michael Schoonert, will take a 5-place grid penalty, and that will drop him back to P9. So a few drivers are going to be reaping the rewards of that as they get an extra spot on the grid. But as we head into the race now, Seb, the top 10 are, of course, going to be starting on the soft compound tire. What do you think we're going to see outside the top 10? Do you think we're going to see most drivers opting for the mediums or the softs? Do you think somebody's going to roll the dice and put hards on?
If I was outside the top 10, I would definitely be running the mediums just to be able to get that little bit of extra jump if I had the pace to be able to catch the runners to get a little bit ahead of them when they make their first stop for I'm not sure if they would choose mediums or hards, but I mean, I would definitely be running a set of mediums if I was outside of the top 10.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to see most of the drivers do. I think we'll see some drivers slap on the softs. because lots of chaos can happen in these early laps, and if that comes along, the softs you can help closing the gap on somebody a little bit quicker perhaps than if you were on the mediums. It's going to give you a little bit better grip as well around this track that you really need to have good grip to be successful around. So the one we probably won't see any hards though. That probably not actually. You know what? I can check right now. We do not see any hards, so that answers that question. But we're going to take you through the DXT Esports starting grid here. Starting first, we have Zach Dillagaff in the Racing Point. He is joined on the front row by his teammate Alex Gutierrez, Bean Sandwich. On row 2, we have Michael Garone Jr., Top Gun, and Joseph Bucks in the Alpha Tauri. On row 3, we have Jonathan Dunk in the Red Bull, and in the second McLaren, Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker. Starting on the fourth row, a very nice qualifying effort for the two Alfa Romeos as Rolly Shields, Random Sirius, and Aaron Bolin Whizbang start P7 and P8. On row 5, we have the Iceman, Michael Schoonert, after taking that 5-place grid penalty, and Bill Vosti, Billy Jex, in the Renault. Of course, he earned his first points of the season last week in Spain. P11, you have Trevor Pound in the Alpha Tauri. P12, you have Peter Pan, Bow Tie or Die in the Haas. Vince Batterby in the Williams starts P13. That is David Aponte in P14 in the second Renault. We have Peter Hayward, High Tower, starting P15. Papa Samich, that is Wesley. He starts P16 in the second Haas. And then finally, rounding out the grid, in P17, we have Julian Monegro in the second Mercedes.
So you know, Stu,
do you need a trout? Do you need a trout? Well, as long
just might.
well, I'll fly out to I'll hop on a flight and go and meet you and slap you with a trout, okay? So The lights are building and we are ready for action here in Monaco. The lights are out and away we go. Zach gets off to a great start. So does Michael Garone Jr. Michael Garone Jr.'s on the inside of Alex Gutierrez. Oh, Alex is in the fence. Alex Gutierrez got in the fence coming out of turn 1. I think he might have avoided wing damage, though he did. Incredible, but nonetheless, Michael Garone Jr. made up a quick position here, and he is up into P2 as the standings go absolutely wild.
My screen must be slow. Oh, and Bean has lost it coming out of the hairpin.
Oh my goodness, is that going to be a safety car? He's for dirt all the way around, and he's holding up Bucks. That's Bucks.
He collected Bucks on the spin, and it is a safety car.
A full safety car. So we didn't get one at all last night, but tonight here, we are less than a lap in, and we got one. A full-fledged safety car. That's going to really help Alex, as he's going to be able to come in and turn that Formula Ford back into a racing point. But
he seemed like he just gave it a little bit too much gas coming out of the hairpin, and it just swung on him.
Is that what it was? Man, just a little bit eager. As we see, oh, I thought we were going to see, will anybody come into the pits is the question. As Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker's into the pits. Bill Vosti's into the pits. These guys must have wing damage. They don't. No, so interestingly enough, you know what? It's an interesting strategy play. What would you do, Seb? Seb, you're in a position here. You're in the top 4 at this point. Would you come into the pits under this and slap on the hards, knowing that you can get to the end on these hards? But is it worth it for that lack of track position, not having to make a pit stop?
To be honest, I would stay out, because then what's going to happen is you have these. Obviously, it's going to take a lot to be able to put the temps into the hards and get them up and running, and then you also have to remember now. You're looking at everybody that's around you, and you're realizing that you're on the hards, but you're gonna lose time because of all the traffic. And I mean, Monaco is definitely a track where it has very, very little overtaking positions, to be able to get through all the traffic. And to me, I don't think it would be worth losing the positions from the front to be stuck in traffic because you never know. Somebody else could lose it around another corner, and then all of a sudden you're back behind another safety car.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I just do not think that it's worth coming in and putting those tires on if you didn't have a reason to. If you had wing damage or something, okay, I can understand that. It can be very tricky to navigate here with a little bit of wing damage, but yeah, I mean, these drivers, they're still going to have probably a good 7 or 8 laps to open up a gap. And the traffic is bound to hold you up. It's a very hard track to overtake at, and I don't really think I agree with coming in and doing the early pit stop again, unless if you absolutely have to.
Yeah, I definitely would have stayed out.
That being said, though, we do have some big early movers here this race. As we do see the Alfa Romeos have both picked up some spots here. The Iceman, Michael Schoonert, is up 4 spots from his start. Trevor Pound up 4 spots. Vince Batterby up 5 spots. Wesley in the Haas, he just stayed out of trouble and he's picked up 6 spots. So good on him. Of course, the biggest loser is our co-front row sitter here today. Alex Gutierrez dropping down to P15, but still plenty of time for him to rebound and maybe get some points. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how some of that plays out as the session rolls on here. But then also interesting of note is we have some of those medium starters have moved up the field now as well in Trevor Pound, Vince Batterby, Peter Pan, and Wesley. So interesting to see how that potential tire strategy might come into place as
Oh, and
oh.
Billy with a 5-second penalty for a
Ooh,
collision.
Bill. He seemed to avoid any damage on that car, but it's not what you want to be getting. As then Daniel gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flags. I do
That's
remember.
interesting.
I remember I got a penalty for that earlier in the season as the Iceman comes into the pits. Michael Schoonert into the pits to put on the mediums. No,
Very late pit.
I don't know what that's all about, but interesting. Regardless, he will rejoin in likely 16th place, I think. But yeah, Daniel LT Joker, he should be able to appeal that penalty. I think that's just kind of a glitch. I had that happen to me earlier this season, and it was easily appealed. Unless if you actually did do something wrong.
Another severe
Oh,
collision.
man. Everybody, a fellow reminder that this is not bumper cars. These are Formula One cars, and you don't need to be going and tapping your teammate in the rear. As actually, that did cause wing damage to Wesley's Haas, so that's gonna hurt him more than just that 5-second penalty will.
I mean, with all these collisions, hopefully we don't have a replay of Mugello today.
Yeah, that's true. It was quite a wild race that we saw the other day at the Mugello circuit, and you know what? I hope they go back to Mugello. I enjoyed it. It was certainly fun to watch, and I understand every race isn't going to be like that, but hopefully they'll come back. It was nice to see beautiful scenery there as well. Was an easy race to watch. As the safety
Oh
car
yeah.
is coming in this lap, Zach is going to bring us around to the green. Just holding up the field nicely. Should be interesting here. See if anybody loses it out of the final corner here. A pretty easy spot to lose it. Everybody seems to do... Oh, as Wesley comes into the pits.
Change out that front wing, I presume.
Yep, it does look like he's changing out that front wing. So Zach is already built up a 1-second lead here. So let's time now, 1.4 seconds to be exact. And he looks to be quite strong here around this circuit. Of course, 0.6 of a second faster than the next best driver in qualifying. As we have the Alfa Romeos, and Rolly Shield Random Series is putting some pressure on Jonathan Dunk right now for that final, for third place. That appears to be one of our better potential battles brewing on track here. As Peter Pan, he has wing damage as well on that Haas. So unfortunately the Haas boys having some trouble keeping her out of the fence as Bill comes into the pits. He is going to come down, and he just put on those hards, so he's going to have to slap on a set of mediums and hope that he can go to the end.
Oh, and Renault just double stacked.
Oh, that's not ideal. A wing change going on for Bill. This is really hurting David, as David has to wait, and then the crew's finally ready. There's definitely no Mercedes on that double stack, that's for sure. That is going to drop the Renault boys, who had a great week last week. They are back down in the final two. Oh! Zach's in the wall! Zach Dilligaff just lost an end plate. He went into the wall hard. And how is that going to affect him? He is going to stay on track, but that is going to kill his pace.
I mean, at this point, if he can hold off until he has to make an actual pit stop, all he has to do is make that racing point wide.
Yeah, but here's the problem is, yeah, sure, he just has to make that racing point wide, but we still have 32, 33 laps to go in this race. I imagine that with that wing damage now, Michael is gaining on him. He's already gained 0.3 back of the gap that was formed. It's just a matter of Michael catching up to him and either waiting for him to make a bigger mistake, or if he does opt to change his wing under the pit stop, then that's going to be almost as much as it's going to be, you know, another 3 or 4 seconds that's added onto your pit stop time. So he's really put himself in a pickle here, as we have a yellow flag in sector 3. That is for a Renault that is around. That is Bill Vosti, who's got to be careful. His teammates coming around the final. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, he gets it back going, and we're good. That was almost scary. But Zach is going to be hurting as he brings it into the pits here. So this is Michael's go time here. There's still some life in those softs potentially. He's got to put the hammer down, and is Zach going to replace that wing? That's the big question that I'm thinking of right now. He is going to go ahead and replace that wing.
I mean, you have to.
You do have to, but with the pace that Zach had, he could probably hold off Michael for the rest of this race. Michael, you know, Michael will be faster than him, being behind him, assuming that he keeps his wing in good shape. But yeah, like you said, you could make that racing point wide, but it'll be interesting to see. Does Michael answer Zach's call into the pits here, and does he dive in this lap to prevent any sort of an undercut?
I mean, he definitely could.
Zach is out free of traffic right now. He's 5 seconds back of the Iceman, Michael. We do know that Michael has good pace. Of course, the Iceman, we do know that he has good pace, so Zach's probably not going to catch him that quickly, but Michael's coming around into Sector 3 right now. He does stay out, so he has his strategy in mind on what he's going to do.
I mean, he's definitely going to be able to put a gap with Dunk and Random Series fighting it out.
Yeah, he will. You're right. The one thing I wonder here is, oh, yellow flag in Sector 1. What's that for? There is a bunch of crazy traffic going on here in Sector 1. Oh my goodness, there's a Williams hard into the wall. That's Vince Batterby. He was running quite well. Yeah, and Trevor Pound is going to pick up a 5-second penalty for that, as Vince has no front wing left on that car.
Oh, and they called a safety car.
Safety car. This is Michael's biggest dream right now. Michael Garone Jr. with a massive, massive break here, and unfortunately for Zach Dillagaff, this is going to kill him. Stuck down in P12 is not going to be fun. So a couple of drivers up at the front here are going to be able to take. Also, this is a massive break. Trevor Pound, who has no front wing on that car, is going to benefit from this as well, as he's going to get a chance to replace that. As we also saw Vince with the wing damage that's caused there, is going to be able to bring that in. As everybody so far is ducking into the pits, with the exception of Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker. Is he going to take the race lead? He is! Man.
Oh, and Bucks gets around him also.
Interesting. Okay, so the thing with Bucks, I don't know if those tires won't be able to go to the end. You can't take those tires 37 laps. So he is going to have to bring it into the pit, as David picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Man, this race just got very, very interesting.
Well, Michael must be going for a two-stop.
Yeah, you would think. I think you can probably make the mediums last till the end from here. 29 laps is a while to make them last, but the initial, there would have been drivers that would have been planning to come in here doing a soft to medium. So for a guy like Michael or Rolly Shield, Random Sirius, who's down in P8, this should be a normal strategy for them, but any of the other drivers, man, it could be tough to make some of those mediums, like 8-lap-old mediums. I don't think those are going to the end. Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker, can definitely go to the end on those hards. But it's just a matter of what's his pace going to be like.
So are there team orders on the track right now, do you think?
I don't think so. I think these two drivers are... they're going to be very much acting on their own. Of course, they're not going to want to wreck their teammate or anything. Not that they want to wreck anybody else, but Vince Batterby picks up a 5-second penalty for a collision with Trevor Pound. Interesting. Of course, those two drivers did just come together on track. We do believe that is what brought out the safety car. There was a couple drivers that lost wings, and I mean that does make sense. It would bring out a safety car in real life if there was that much damage on track, as Vince retires from the session in the pits. So we have lost our first driver of the race.
That might be because he's running on intermediates.
Yeah, I feel like there might have been some frustration there after the incident that just occurred, that we believe ultimately brought out the safety car. Yeah, that was not hit. He did not intentionally put intermediates on. That was just seeing that it is a game glitch that he's experiencing. So very unfortunate for Vince. But if there's one that I guess you can't complain too much to wreck out of, it is Monaco. Monaco's just kind of a wild card on the calendar, so onwards and upwards to Baku for next week. But in the meantime, hopefully we're going to have some good racing here as we get ready to get this session back underway. I don't believe the safety car is in this lap. It is not. But it's... It's going to should get interesting here. We're going to see different tire strategies, how they play out. Peter Pan is the only driver on the track on softs right now. I don't know if that was intentional on his part to go on to those. Of course, he does not have any fresh mediums or hards left, I don't believe. But we see Alex Gutierrez. He currently finds himself in P4. He's going to have to make another pit stop on those mediums. Yeah, just to put a simmer on the YouTube chat, we're not explaining the golden, or not. It's not a golden trout. We're not explaining the trout. This is a very professional comms team that we have here, Sebi, and myself, and we're not getting into those shenanigans here on stream. That can be exclusively for the Discord. Which, speaking of which, if you're interested in joining the Transnation eSports and getting all the wet trout shenanigans, then feel free to fire a comment into the YouTube comments, and we'd be happy to set you up with the Discord link. Of course, we do have a couple of open seats still. I believe we might be full, if not extremely close to full on Sunday, but I do know that we have a seat available tonight in the Monday night. So if you like what you're seeing on your computer, phone, television set right now, then let us know, and we'd be happy to set you up with a Discord. And it already has been put in. Look at that. Our Brett Keenan has put that into the YouTube comments for you to browse through and see. As we're about to,
friends you bring, you'll receive one free trout.
yes, we'll give you a free trout. As we head back to racing here, no trout on the track, as Daniel Hernandez takes us back to green flag racing. Oh, a little bit hairy going into turn one there. Maybe he didn't get those hards completely up to speed. But everybody looks to be fairly clean as we're back underway here. Should be interesting to see how much longer Joseph is able to stay out on those mediums. And as the top bundle are bunched up, they are very tight together, as Julian Monegro gets a 3-second time penalty. Are we going to have a pass for the lead here? They're side by side down the straightaway. Daniel Hernandez and Bucks. There, it looked like they might have made a bit of contact there, but got away with it as Daniel does hold the lead.
I feel like that was a very long safety car to have those hards on.
Yeah, it was. Those hards would be ice cold. And it does take those hards probably a good 5 or so laps to really get good pace back into them. So, if you could even say good pace and hards together. Got a good view here from Michael Garone Jr. as he looks at the top two duking it out. I don't think Bucks is going to be close enough to make that pass. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. That seems to have cleared. But man, that makes you nervous to see drivers going side by side here at Monaco.
Yeah, it really does. There's very few spots that you're able to do that here.
Oh, Julian Monegro's in the wall, and Zach is going to try and take advantage of it as they go into Mirabeau. Zach unable to take advantage of the mishap by Julian. I don't think Bucks is going to be close enough to make a pass down the straightaway here. Yellow flag in Sector 2. What is that for? They're back to green flag. But these top four, you could cover them with a blanket. They are all within a second of one another. Very tight racing. And Zach is trying his darndest to get around Julian here and get back into the top 5. Try and make up for that mistake earlier in this race. Bucks very, very close to the back of Daniel. He's not going to be close enough as we have a virtual safety car that's come out. Who could that be for? I don't see anything on track.
Very interesting.
We do have a Haas and a Mercedes in the pits, but I
Two Mercedes and a Renault and the Haas.
I don't know what this... Ooh, this is really... Oh, Julian did get out. Okay. I don't know what that could have been for. We have a ghost safety car. A ghost virtual safety car here, as... Did no idea what that could have been for. But nevertheless, it happened, and we're back to green flag racing now.
Oh, and Michael's under attack by the Racing Point.
Oh, he got rear-ended actually by he got a little bit of a love tap as Alex Gutierrez just lets his teammate go. So that means Zach got past. Oh, he was behind Julian. So that's going to release Zach now to join this fight as Alex Gutierrez just let his teammate go. Interesting to see.
I think Michael was just hit with a 3-second penalty also because he had to take that chicane.
Yeah, I bet if as long as he doesn't get another warning and he can prove that post race that he didn't get another warning with his race director, that he would be able to get that penalty removed because that was not his fault. Unfortunate for Michael that that occurred, but at the end of the day, it will be appealable for him. At the front, though, these guys are duking it out. It is a train that is forming, and that usually leads to, we'll call it love taps up the rear, but hopefully we don't see too...
What do you think your prediction is going to be for when Bucks has to pit? Because he's on 14-lap mediums now.
I think he's probably going to try and stretch the mediums out and then take the softs home. I would say that he could probably go to about lap 30, lap 29 or 30. And but man, those mediums are not going to be in good shape by that point. We'll see though. I mean, lots of things can happen between now and then, as we saw earlier in this race. So we'll see how things play out. The Iceman, Michael Schoonert, he is in P9, so trying to make his way back up after a qualifying penalty hampered him early in this race. But really, we want to keep our eyes... Oh, we had a pass for the lead, as I missed probably the one pass we're going to get here today, as as Joseph was able to get around Daniel. The question is now, is he going to be able to build out enough of a gap to get a nice pocket to fall into for a pit stop?
So now I wonder if Daniel releases Michael.
I don't think he's going to let him go here, but Michael is peeking up the inside. Thinks better of it. But he's going to be eager to get past his teammate here, and it's tough because if you're Daniel, you just can't let Michael go because Zach is right behind him, and you don't want to give up a couple of positions. If anything, if it was going to play out in team orders, then Daniel would want to let just Michael go and then hold up Zach, but Joseph is building out a gap, 1.6 seconds now. Michael gets a great traction off of the first corner in Sandoval. Looks to go a little bit wide around Daniel, but of course not able to get that done. Not really much room for a pass there. Oh! Did Michael... It looked like he might have got into the back of his teammate, but he seemed to escape any damage if he did get into the back of him. Good old Mikey, just trucking around the circuit, trying to get past his teammate. Will he look to make a move into the Nouvelle chicane? No dice. Man, Seb, I can't believe I missed the one pass that we're going to get this race.
I know, I'm kind of like, where did it happen and when? Because I was watching.
It had to happen up Beau Rivage. It looks like Daniel's really struggling to get traction out of Sandoval, and man, that had to be where it took place. There is room up there to make a pass, but it's tight. Regardless, though, this is what we got, as we do see... is that... Oh, Peter Pan's in the pits. And... as we do see David Aponte has left the session. He actually was disqualified, so he accumulated quite a few penalties. we'll see if Michael's going to be able to get around his teammate. Michael has absolutely no ERS left, and ERS does not regenerate quickly around this circuit. And he himself falls under severe pressure from Zach now, who's directly behind him. So Zach is going to try and he's going to continue to put the pressure on Michael. That is, of course, this is a battle for second through. We have a yellow flag in Sector 2. That is a big kerfuffle that happened there, as Trevor Pound, I think Bill Vosti was involved. Julian may have been involved as well. A good old gaggle of cars getting involved in an incident down there. But meanwhile, we see a three-way battle here for P2 as Michael goes to the outside. He's still around the outside of his teammate. Oh my, that was almost, oh, bad. Goodness me.
I think Zach is really just waiting for them to try to play the team game, and he's going to try to capitalize on it also.
Yeah, I think so. The way that he's looking, he's seeing Michael be very aggressive, and if you're Zach, he's going to remember earlier in this race what trying to be a little bit aggressive or what a mistake will do for your race. So he's not going to be wanting to make a mistake, and he'll probably just let these two duke it out. But man, oh man, Michael is getting so close to his teammate. I think he's going to be getting a little bit annoyed. With Daniel right now. He's like, come on, man. I'm clearly faster than you are. Just let me go. And he's going to get a good run here. He might have him. He's not going to get the run, though, going into turn one because he just doesn't have the ERS. It's so unfortunate for Michael. He gets a good run coming out of Saint-Avold. But this absolutely... Daniel makes his rear wing big. And yellow flag in Sector 3. That is between a Mercedes. Oh, Michael got into the back of his teammate. No wing damage, though, but he's got to be careful.
He's being very careful.
Yeah, this is like... yeah, Brett's saying that McLaren management needs to intervene here, but it looks like the McLaren management is currently... I think it's Ferrari management right now. Yeah, true. Jeff needs to hop on the radio, but we all know he's useless.
That is true. Dean with the 30-second time penalty.
Yeah, Alex with the time penalty, not good for him, that's for sure. And the thing is, oh man, Michael's got to be careful. He's getting frustrated. Is he going to be able to get around his teammate? Oh! So, wow, that absolutely kills Michael's run here today.
Frustrating right there.
His teammate just not being willing to move over and let him by is going to cost Michael 2 positions, and it's really not going to help out Daniel at all. Daniel could have done something there for the team. He knows that he's going to be so slow on those hards, but it's hard to put yourself in the driver's shoes there as well, because again, not all these guys are they don't all have like a party chat going or anything necessarily for inter-team communications, and that can sometimes cause things between the drivers. But so unfortunate for Michael there. He's definitely not had the luckiest season so far in this Monday Night Regional, but let's see now what if Zach is able to try and get around Daniel. Oh, Daniel gets into the wall there. No damage, or no visible damage. As we see Peter picks up a 3-second time penalty there. Seeing some rear wings. Oh, did Zach almost lost it coming off of the coming out of Saint-Avold. As we see this, I don't even know if you would call it a battle anymore, but what this has done is the Iceman, Michael Schoonert, has brought himself back up into the picture here. All the battling that's gone on has brought him back up into it, and he tried to make a move on Daniel there, but That would have been an ill-advised move to make.
This
Zach,
is
is
gonna
he
be
going to
a
be close enough to make a
spot
move
to
on
lose.
Daniel? They're going to go into the Nouvelle chicane. Zach is not going to make a move, though. Daniel did lock up a little bit. Of course, lots of these drivers are, they race together in the National Series as well. So the likes of Daniel, Zach, Michael, they all raced, and I could be missing somebody else, but at least they race together in the National Series now, all in Tier 1. So it's, it's not good for them, as we're going to see a Mercedes coming out of the pits. Hopefully he doesn't get involved in this battle. No, Peter's a good does a good job of keeping out of the way, so good on him. And just taking a quick look at the comments. Yeah, the usually you do want to be pretty nice to your teammate. If there's anybody that you are going to let past, usually it's your teammate. Just at least be nice about it, or a little bit more kind. We actually saw the team game. The virtual safety car is out. This could be big for Bucks. He is almost 8 seconds ahead of Daniel right now in second. I don't think that's going to be quick enough for Bucks to be able to retain the lead, but we'll find out soon enough. But it's you know, when it's your teammate out there, you really don't want to be giving them a hard time. You want to be making sure that as Peter Hayward is retired from the session, so I believe he might be the cause of this. This little virtual safety car here. As he had an incident through the tunnel, and his car is now just left to sit there, in a very ominous, bad spot. Interestingly enough, Joseph did not come into the pits. As we're back to green flag racing, so he still has to come in and make that pit stop, but and also interestingly enough is Zach got around Daniel, so great. I missed another pass. I missed the second pass that we're going to get this race, but that releases Zach, so he's going to be able to charge forward now, and that's definitely not what Michael wanted to see. Michael is now, again, of course, right behind his teammate. Michael was able to get around Alex Gutierrez. Whether Alex let him pass or not is another question. But now Michael sets he looks at the same rear wing that he was looking at a couple laps ago, but in this situation now, now Zach is well out ahead as Michael picks up a 3-second time penalty. So definitely going to be a frustrating race here for Michael, and unfortunate to see, but we'll see how this race unfolds here. Again, we still have 14 laps to go in this race. That's plenty of time for things to go, for wild things to unfold. And it's still Monaco regardless. Michael will finally get around his teammate.
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
a little bit too little, too late, but he does get around his teammate. Now we'll see if he can stick with Zach. As random serious, Rolly Shield is retired from the session. That is on track, and that's going to bring out a safety car. Oh my goodness.
And that's going to play right into Bucks' hands right now.
It's going to play right into Bucks' hands, but you're going to see guys like Alex Gutierrez come into the pits, but I don't think you're going to see guys like Zach or Michael come into the pits here. I mean, their mediums are going to be able to go to the end. I just don't see a reason why you would necessarily do it just because of the track position that you're going to lose. Mind you, that being said, you know, we're in a window now. You can come in and put on softs, and you're going to be able to take advantage of those softs early on, and you would probably be able to get past some
Bucks
cars.
goes.
Bucks does? Well, that's to be expected. The question is, are we going to see Zach, or Zach's not coming in? Is Michael going to potentially come in? No, he doesn't. Daniel Hernandez does not come in. Alex Gutierrez does not come in. He thinks he can make those mediums last to the end. The Iceman, Michael Schoonert, stays out. We see Jonathan Dunk come into the pit, so he's going to slap on a set of the softs, the mediums, and a front wing change. But not very many takers here on this safety car.
I mean, with only 10 laps to go, and let's see, I mean, Bucks is out in sixth. That's a lot of traffic of top runners he's got to get through.
Yeah, I mean, the question that I have running through my mind right now is, does Zach have any penalties, and if so, how much? Right now, we know that Michael has 6 seconds because he did pick up a second time penalty. So he has 6 seconds worth of time penalties, but
That's not good. So
is that
three.
so? Zach has three?
No, so would Michael have three? Because the first one wouldn't.
No. Well, the
The
thing is so if he won't get that entire penalty erased. What he would get is he would get that warning removed. So if Michael only has 6 total warnings, which is 2 penalties worths right now, he would get one of those warnings taken off because he shouldn't have got that warning because he was forced there. So he could get that warning removed, which would remove one of the penalties. But if Michael gets one more warning until before the end of this race, then there's no point in him trying to appeal it because he would
Oh,
go from
okay.
7 warnings to 6 warnings, which would still be two penalties worth. So I mean, if Michael does have only 7 or 6 warnings worth right now, then that's certainly possible and could really bring things into play here. But I mean, we'll see how that plays out. The one that's going to be interesting to watch, though, is Alex Gutierrez. So when we go back to green, there's going to be 9 or 10 laps of racing to go, which means he has to get those mediums. He's going to have to do like 36 laps on those mediums, which I have never heard of that being done around here at Monaco, but it would be a serious feat if he could do it. 36 laps with the hards would be no issue, but who you got here, Seb? We know what the top three look like. Do you think that Michael has what it takes to be able to get by Zach and steal this victory, or do you think that Zach has this thing, or do you think that Zach is going to take this home? Or do you think somebody
Um,
outside of the top two are going to somehow whiz away with this victory?
I mean, it's really hard to tell. The two front guys have great pace, you know. I think P1 and P2 might be able to stay the same. I'm pretty sure Daniel was going to end up struggling on those hards, especially with another safety car, having to get those up to temp. I think Bucks and Iceman might be able to have the potential to slip in there somehow, especially with Bucks being on fresh mediums.
You know what though? I really one thing that I'll throw in there is you mentioned Daniel as we're going to go back to green here. You mentioned Daniel and his old hards that he has fitted. That's going to help Michael because with Michael having the additional penalty there, the 6 seconds worth right now, he should be able to build out at least enough of a. Oh my goodness! Alex Gutierrez had the biggest tank slapper that I've seen in a while. He's going to lose a position out of it. But wow, he did an amazing job to save that car. And Bucks is going to get past the Iceman very quickly, as there was some race. Oh, Alex Gutierrez is in the wall. Alex is in the wall. That is going to be pretty much a race ender for Alex, as he just stays out of the way now and lets the field go by. Unfortunate for Alex. We're not going to see if those mediums are going to be able to make it to the end. But that was an amazing restart for Joseph Bucks, as he is able to get.
He's all made up two positions.
Yep. Actually, that's the fastest lap of the race currently sits with Zach, and the additional point that comes with that. So. Yellow flag in Sector 2. I believe that's for Alex Gutierrez. He comes to a stop on the track. I wonder if he lost it through the chicane, perhaps? We're certainly going to see here. He is just sitting. He did lose it. You could see that his front tire, his suspension, that would be a full safety car if this was real life. I mean, the track workers aren't just going out for a localized yellow to get that car out of the way. Oh yeah, local yellow, guys, just go chuck the track off that car off the track.
Alex is right on the tail of Daniel right now.
Really, that's not surprising, though, being on those fresh mediums. And this is actually big right now for the team play here, which, and, oh, we have a actually, Wesley just retired in the pits. Oh, Bucks is going to get past Daniel here as Daniel's tires are really letting him down. They're still side by
Oh
side
no.
through the tunnel, but Bucks is able to get past. That's not good. That's not good news for Michael, as Bucks is going to be breathing down his neck momentarily here. So unfortunately here for Michael, that is not going to be a sunny way for his race to. Just not been a good race for him. Of course, our championship points leader. See if he's able to hold off Bucks. And actually, I don't know how many penalties that Bucks might have. Might be worth checking on before the end of this race. Seb?
Ooh, memento. Let's see here.
But regardless, Zach has built up a 1.6 second lead at the front of the field here to Michael. As Michael just looks to, just calmly make his way around the track, finish this race off here, be done with Monaco. The two Red Bulls are nose to tail. See if maybe they play the team game a little bit better than McLaren was able to play the team game, as Jonathan Dunk has much fresher tires. So the retirements, they didn't come, there wasn't a ton of them early, but they're starting to come heavier now as we've had 6 drivers drop out of the session. But we'll keep an eye here on this battle that's going to develop here for P2 between Joseph and Michael. Of course, these two are 1 and 2 in the championship point standings with a yellow flag in Sector 3.
I believe Bucks only has 1 warning.
Oh, and Bucks just set the fastest lap of the race as well. So the extra point that that comes with it. So this is gonna, I mean, if Bucks does only have the 1 warning, then he's just got to be patient here. Although he does probably want to try and give a shot at catching Zach, but that's not good for Michael. Michael definitely wants to keep him behind, him.
So Zach also has a 3-second.
That's very interesting then. So that might be why that's a reason for Joseph to want to perhaps aggressively pursue a pass here on Michael, as if he can keep that gap within 3 seconds, which it's currently at 3 seconds from P2 to P3, then that would do him some serious good in trying to win this race, which would be quite outstanding if Bucks were able to pull this off. And he's going to be right on the tail of Michael as they head down the front straightaway. With DRS, he's going to the outside. This is a pass for the lead into Sandoval. Bucks is going to get the job done on those medium tires, making it look easy, but an impressive pass there. Daniel Hernandez is out. Daniel has lost it. And he has... he's in the pits?
You lost it in the pit lane?
He retired it in the pits. Interesting. We're down to 9. We're down to 9 drivers now, as really the focus shifts to Joseph, and that is Bucks J020, as he looks now to try and track down Zach, who does have a 3-second time penalty. And he looks to try and lock down the race victory here.
I'm gonna look at I'm gonna also look at Iceman and J Dunk.
True, good idea, because right now they are sitting 3 seconds back of Michael. Now, as Bucks at the fast lap again. If you're Iceman here, unless if there's a penalty difference here, I feel like you would want to try and let your teammate go, let J-Dunk go to try and get his way up and see if he can mount a battle against Michael. Of course, Michael's tires are 24 laps old.
Iceman also has 3. Three
Okay,
seconds.
so only the 3 seconds, so that's very on the line right now for Michael. Um,
Okay, so does Dunk.
Interesting. Okay, so penalties will play a factor here, and Michael's going to want to do as much as he can to try and pull out a 3 second gap to the Iceman here. And they were talking about in the YouTube comments that it looked like Michael might have had a brush in with the wall, but he does have all the wings intact, so that's good to see. But as the race goes on, we're going to have a battle here for the lead before the end of this race as Bucks is catching Zach Dillegaff as he continues to set fastest laps. We'll see here. We might have and penalties might not need to be a factor in this race here if with Bucks on those fresh mediums. You see, we were talking about on that safety car that um, might have ruined his race, that he had to do that, but certainly has not ruined his race, and it has played out very well for him as he looks to take victory here this evening.
So I believe Michael might drop to P4 or 5 because I think I just saw that he picked up another warning.
Oh, so he does have 6 seconds right now. It's very close right now. The gap is just under 3 seconds to him and Iceman, which the difference in penalties right now is 3 seconds between those two. So we'll see if Michael's maybe able to turn it up here at the end of this race.
Well, Iceman also does have a 5 second penalty for collision, but I don't remember
Oh,
how
something just
that
happened
one
here with
is.
Iceman. Iceman got into the wall and picked up wing damage. So that is going to be big for Michael, as now the gap is 3.5 seconds.
And
Bucks
Bucks with
picks
the
up a
3 second.
3 second time penalty. So now this is a race on track for the win here between Bucks and Zach. This should be some good racing here to finish this one off. Only 9 dry. Actually, I can't recall exactly what the point scoring threshold is. Is it 70? I think it's 75% of the race that has to be
90.
completed. 9? No, but points might be different.
Oh.
Because are you? I think you're still classified. I could be wrong. I don't know. Brett's probably frantically typing out his response in the YouTube channel right now. Brett, let me know because I have to do points for these guys, so I need to know what I need to do this week. But oh, Zach's getting a little bit squirrely. We saw it last week, but the squirrely rear end on Zach's car has brought Bucks to be right up behind him now. We'll see if Bucks is going to be able to make a move. He's got to run down the front straight into Sandoval. He's not going to be close enough to make a move though.
I feel like Michael is struggling on those mediums right now.
Yeah, he is struggling as Jay Dunk is closing in fast. So you do have to finish 90% of the race to be classified for points, which Daniel Hernandez is not going to do. So, so we are only going to see 9 drivers scoring points here today. First time that we've seen that this season, I believe.
Really?
Yep, I don't think we've seen. We've had very good attendance so far this season. So we haven't seen enough drivers wreck out to for it to come into play. So at least I don't believe so.
Do we have to remember the Australia incident?
Yeah, but that was on Sunday. That was on Sunday.
Oh, that was. That was.
Mm-hmm. So I don't. I also think that we had good enough turnout for that as well. That we that everybody still scored points. So this is the first for this season for these guys, and absolutely no surprise at all that it came at Monaco, as Joseph has started to fall back a little bit from Zach's rear wing here. 1.3 seconds now, as those mediums should be in there. They're into their prime operating right now. They're as good as they're gonna get.
Oh, and Michael's into the wall twice.
Oh no, he has lost so much of that wing. That is so unfortunate for Michael. A rough race here today for the McLaren driver. There's only 2 laps to go though, and he does have a hurting Iceman behind him, and then 14 seconds behind him is Bill Vosti. So I do imagine that Michael should be able to come out of this with a top 5, I would imagine, but definitely not going to be fun to be driving that McLaren around here. Back to the front though. Bucks is right on the back rear wing of Zach. Is he going to be able to get a good enough run down the front straightaway? He almost lost it down the front straightaway as we're starting our last lap around Monaco.
Iceman with the 3-second.
That's big for Michael, as Michael might have just let him by. What will we see here? Will we see Bucks attempt a move for the race victory here on the final lap? He's right on the back of Zach, the rear wing of Zach. And Zach is definitely hurting for traction. His only real opportunity is going to come down this back straightaway. What's he going to be able to do? Will he get good enough traction? He gets okay traction, but that's not going to be good enough to make a move going into the chicane. He cuts the corner a little bit. Got a good run on him, but it's going to take a mistake out of Zach now, I believe. As Bucks is looking any which way that he can. He sticks his nose around the outside, but it's not going to do it here. Are we going to go side by side at the line? Almost. Side by side at the line! And Zach wins it. A side by side finish. Half of a tenth of a second, 5/100ths of a second, but Zach pulls out the win. Bucks comes home P2. Jay Dunk is going to come home P3. The Iceman is going to come home P4. Michael Garoon Jr. is going to cross the line in P5. He finishes just behind the Iceman, 0.3 of a second behind him. Bill Vosti is going to cross in P6. Great run for Bill today, building off a great run last week as well. Whizbang, that's Aaron Boland. He's going to come home P7. Peter Pan, Bow Tie or Die, is going to come home P8. And rounding out the finishers here today is going to be Trevor Pound in the AlphaTauri as he makes his way through the final sector of this race. I don't know about you, Seb, but that 39 laps around Monaco, that seems like one of the fastest races we've had this season. Was actually a very exciting race to watch.
I feel like ours took forever.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was a boring race for the most part.
I mean, there was way more safety cars tonight.
Yeah, the game definitely made up for it as we see Michael, the Iceman, getting driver of the day. Of course, rebounding from that that qualifying penalty to finish on the podium here. Very nicely done for him. So there's going to be plenty to talk about with our top 3 here today. We're just going to get the finishing results here first. As Zach, Joseph, and Jonathan are the top 3 drivers this race. Zach.
Surprising, Michael didn't jump up to 4th.
He just missed out on, unfortunately, that wing damage that he sustained definitely was not helping him at the end. As we're just going to get the top 3 here into the comm box. So we have Joseph, we have what was it? It was Joseph, we have Zach, and Dunk. Who do I have here? I need Jonathan. Send the invites out to them. So the invites are out here. Just wait for them to join the party here. But a very, very entertaining race here to watch. We're going to have a new championship points leader here today. Joseph is going to take the lead in the points, but But Seb, what are your overall thoughts after we see that race wrap up?
I mean, that was definitely a very interesting race. There was a lot of wing changes, accidents, a lot of safety cars. And that definitely throws a mix into your strategy. With what tires you're gonna run, especially the late one. With if who was gonna stay in, who was gonna stay out. And then it all came down to the tires that were at the end.
Yeah, it we saw a bit of everything that race as we saw different tire strategies. We saw just a little bit of everything and lots of safety cars too. It definitely brought a lot of excitement into the race. But we do have all of the drivers into the party chat right now. So I say we get this party going here. We're going to start with Jonathan. Jonathan, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
How's it going? That was a pretty wild race out there today, and you did get to see lots of action going on in front of you there. But ultimately, at the end there, you did well to you had the fresh tires for that final stint. You were able to get around your teammate, and then once you got around your teammate, the pieces kind of fell into place, and you brought it home in P3. I mean, walk us through your qualifying and your race effort, and I guess overall. Give us a little taste of how happy you must be to be done with Monaco.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. Qualifying and the race both. I put an okay lap in qualifying, felt pretty good about it. Ended up kind of falling back to fifth, I think. But yeah, in the race, it's just whoever gets lucky and kind of avoids all the drama going on. But yeah, I got lucky there at the end with Top Gun kind of hitting the wall and not coming down on me. So yeah, happy with third for sure. Didn't know what to expect coming in, so any kind of good points was a good day for me.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing to mention here is we see that the Racing Point boys might be coming on a little bit strong, give you guys potentially a good run in the constructors standings. It was certainly a good points day for you guys, finishing second and third. That's going to certainly help you out in your battle with Alpha Tauri in the constructors. I guess moving on from Monaco and looking forward to next week, you looking forward to Baku, or is Baku, it has very similar characteristics to Monaco. Is it one that you're dreading a little bit going to as well?
I'm just happy to get away from this track, honestly.
Just happy you're done with it. You know what? I think that's going to be the sentiment among most of the drivers here as we'll take a look at the Discord after the race. But congratulations, Jonathan, on your P3 finish and surviving Monaco.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, we are going to jump in now to P2, and he looked like he had a great shot at winning this race after, despite having to make potentially actually the safety car potentially screwing him a little bit. With the late safety car, but we have Bucks in the chat as well, and man, interesting race for you going from the front. You dropped down a few spots, and you had a great restart. You made your way back up, and you ultimately had a great chance to win the race there at the end. Walk us through your qualifying and ultimately your race effort here today.
Yeah, it was a good overall event for sure. The qualifying, we laid down a pretty solid lap. I didn't think I was going to be the fastest by any means, but I figured we had a pretty good shot at being top five, which is where I wanted to be, stay out of the middle of the pack best I could. So moving into the beginning of the race, it started out pretty hectic with Top Gun and Bean Sandwich getting together at turn one right there, right in front of me, and then into the hairpin when Bean lost it. Yeah, it really cost us, and I thought it cost me a good shot at a finish in the race, but put the head down, changed the wing, kept going, and then just kind of worked out where the second safety car really set up me and Joker to get back to the front and kind of battle it out, and I just had to get around him. Once I got around him, it was smooth sailing until the third safety car, and that was the decision time for me. I know Dilligaff, he stayed on his mediums throughout the whole stint there, and I was going to do the same, but ultimately I decided to come in for the fresh ones, and it almost paid off, except I made a mistake about 5 laps left. I got my 3-second penalty, and that was a killer.
Yeah, that was certainly unfortunate, but you brought up a good point there. In at the beginning of the race, you were actually tangled up a little bit with Alex there. Do you know really what happened on that incident? Was it just unfortunate for you, like a wrong place at the wrong time sort of deal? We know
Um,
Monaco, there's not really anywhere to go if there's an accident going on in front of you.
you're not wrong there. Yeah, no. Once we got out of the hairpin, he got some wheel spin. It looked like, and he got spun around, and it was a matter of me guessing left or right. I guessed left, and that was wrong. So I took my wing off, but luckily it caused a full safety car, so I was able to get in and get out without too much of a hassle. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, definitely a little bit fortunate there, and also fortunate that that you didn't end up getting plowed into by another driver as well. It wouldn't be hard for somebody else to guess wrong and do the same. So I mean, massive congratulations on a great run for you today. I mean, definitely made a strong case for driver of the day here today, and made a strong charge for a potential victory here. But regardless, you come home P2. You pick up the championship points lead as we head into Baku. So congratulations to you.
All right, thanks, guys.
And then lastly, we are going to move on to our our race winner today, race champion. Who am I? What am I talking about? We are joined by Zach as well. Zach, are you there?
I am. What's up, guys? How are you?
You know, it's
Definitely, man.
I feel a little bit more stressed out maybe than when we raced last night. So it was man, it was quite a wild race for you. You seem to be head and shoulders the fastest driver that was out on the track when all parts of the car were intact anyways, but unfortunately that didn't happen through the first sector or for the first stint of the race. You got damaged, you dropped back, and it really didn't look good for you, but throughout the rest of the race, you really battled back hard, and you wound up coming home with the victory. I mean, walk us through your qualifying and your extremely eventful race, because I'm very interested to know what was kind of going through your mind as this whole race was going on.
Yeah, so qualifying was kind of a nightmare. My first two runs that I ran on, I invalidated on, and after I had set my first lap, and I knew that usually your first lap's never going to be your fastest, so my second and third attempt, I guess, were both failures, and just kind of sent it on the last part of the Sector 3 where I was a lot slower than Top Gun and ended up P1, which is always where you want to be in Monaco to start, and got off to a good start, had good traction, good pull away. I think I was putting about 3 seconds on him, and I was just racing too hard. Honestly, I wanted to get out, put 5-6 seconds and just start coasting. So I need to learn to be a little bit more patient with that. And but after I got the wing damage, I tried to run it as best I can until I eventually ended up with the red wing, which caused an early pit. I knew we were going to have safety cars, but I didn't honestly know how far back I was going to be with the guys that had already pitted, within the first couple laps for wing damage. So I think I came out in like 8th or 9th after everyone pitted, and then just tried to keep my nose down, wing green, and I knew the tires were going to have to run to the end for me to have any shot at a podium today, so I just ran conservative behind people. I know the Joker and I got tangled up going into turn 1, and I'd like to go back and look at the footage to make sure that him and I didn't have any, bad driving or anything, because I know that he's in a lot of the league races we're in, and he's a good racer, and I don't mean to, pass him, but with this tight of a track, and I knew my time was coming that I had to go catch first, so.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just kind of ended up the way it was. I was the last 5 laps, I was, holding on for dear life. You could tell my tires were were shot, and really just tried to use the track to my advantage for defense, so.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately what it came down to really at the end is, Joseph mentioned it a moment ago, but there was a late penalty that he got that really is what gave him, or what cost him the race victory. When you could see that he was closing in on you, did you know that he didn't have a penalty yet, or did you know when he got that penalty?
kind of funny because I was like, I saw once he got past Top Gun, I was like, okay, all right, the race has actually just begun, for first. So I know he was going to put a lot of time in on me, and the only thing that I could do to get the best out of the car was to just run clean laps. And with running clean laps, not getting penalties, like I said, I just kind of used Monaco, the track itself, to kind of keep me in first, really, and just tried to stay as clean as possible.
Yeah, and I mean, stay as clean as possible. You did. It was a very impressive run. The second, for I guess ever since after that first stint, very very nice running throughout the rest of the race to be able to keep it clean and play it well to the end. What are your thoughts going next week into Baku? Are you excited? And then also as well, the Racing Point boys, the Pink Mercedes boys, they seem to be coming alive in this constructors championship. You guys qualifying 1-2. Do you think that you guys can put in a serious title charge in the constructors and yourself for the drivers?
I think as long as we just stay consistent, stay out of trouble, no DNFs. I know that is keep the attendance rate high. I'm sure that we'll keep showing out. I know Bean is on a wheel this season, and he's getting used to that. And I know that when I first started on my wheel too, it took me honestly about 3 months of just grinding before it was just kind of starting to pay off. As you guys can see, I'm here tonight, so it's just now starting to turn. But yeah, it'll come around, and I think now that Monaco's out of the way, there'll be a lot more racing, and I can't wait to battle it out with all these guys.
Yeah, I really am too. It really looks like we're developing a serious top 6, top 8 drivers that all have serious pace behind them and can contend for race victories. So definitely excited to see how that plays out the rest of this season. And Zach, again, congratulations on your great victory here today. And who knows, maybe we'll see if you can keep. I believe you won last week as well. So we'll see if you can keep this little winning streak going next week as we head into Baku.
Yeah, I don't mind talking to you guys after the end of the race. So.
Well, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad that nobody hates talking to us. That because I hate talking to Seb. So.
Oh no.
I'm kidding, Seb. I'm kidding. But I think that's probably a good spot to wrap things up here today. Congratulations again to all of the survivors of Monaco and of course our top 3 finishers here today. Make sure to join us next week as we are heading to Baku, and also make sure to join us as the Transnation Esports National Series heads to Monaco this weekend for what's sure to be plenty more safety cars. That is Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are in the world on this YouTube channel. So make sure to tune into that. On behalf of Seb and myself, thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week.